The disappearance. Samuel Grayson was once a man who had it all. A self-made millionaire, he built his fortune from the ground up, starting with a small tech startup that grew into a multinational corporation. He was known not just for his business acumen but for his generosity. He funded scholarships, built shelters for the homeless, and donated millions to charities. But behind the success was a man haunted by personal loss. His wife, Clara, had passed away from a rare illness, leaving him to raise their young daughter, Emily, alone. Tragedy struck again when Emily, at the age of 12, was involved in a car accident that took her life. Samuel was shattered. He withdrew from the world, leaving his company in the hands of his trusted friend and business partner, Daniel Carter. One day, Samuel simply vanished. No note, no explanation, just gone. Daniel searched for him tirelessly, but Samuel had disappeared without a trace. The man on the corner. 17 years later, in a bustling city far from where Samuel had once lived, a homeless man sat on a street corner. His face was weathered, his beard unkempt, and his clothes hung loosely on his thin frame. He was a fixture in the neighborhood, always sitting in the same spot, his eyes downcast but kind. He never begged, never asked for anything. Occasionally, someone would drop a coin or a sandwich into his cup, and he would nod gratefully, offering a soft, "Thank you" or "God bless you." The locals called him Old Sam, though no one knew his real name. He was a mystery, a quiet presence who seemed to observe the world without being part of it. Children sometimes waved at him, and he would wave back with a gentle smile. But most adults ignored him, too busy with their lives to notice the man who seemed to blend into the background. The kindness of strangers. Despite his circumstances, Samuel never lost his compassion. He shared what little he had with others in need. One cold winter night, he gave his only blanket to a young mother and her child who were sleeping on the streets. Another time, he helped an elderly man carry groceries to his apartment, refusing the offered tip. These small acts of kindness went unnoticed by most, but they meant the world to those he helped. One day, a young woman named Mia, who worked at a nearby cafe, began to take notice of Samuel. She often brought him a cup of coffee and a sandwich during her breaks. Over time, they struck up a conversation. Samuel was hesitant to talk about himself, but he listened intently to Mia's stories about her struggles as a single mother trying to make ends meet. He offered her quiet words of encouragement, and she found herself looking forward to their chats. The black SUV one afternoon, as Samuel sat on his usual corner, a sleek black SUV pulled up to the curb. The windows were tinted, and the vehicle exuded an air of importance. Passers-by stopped to watch as the door opened, and a well-dressed man stepped out. He looked to be in his late 50s, with graying hair and a determined expression. His eyes scanned the street until they landed on Samuel. The man approached slowly, his steps hesitant but purposeful. When he was just a few feet away, he stopped and stared at Samuel, his eyes filling with tears. "Samuel?" he said, his voice trembling. "Is that really you?" Samuel looked up, his heart pounding. He hadn't heard that name in years. He squinted at the man, trying to place him. And then it hit him. "Daniel," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Daniel nodded, tears streaming down his face. "We've been looking for you for so long," he said. "Why did you leave? Why did you disappear?" Samuel looked away, ashamed. "I had nothing left to give," he said quietly. "I thought it was better this way." The truth revealed, Daniel insisted on taking Samuel with him, but Samuel resisted. He felt unworthy of the help being offered. "I'm not the man I used to be," he said. "I've been living on the streets for years. I'm no one." "You're wrong," Daniel said firmly. "You've always been someone. You've been helping people all these years, even when you had nothing. That's who you are, Samuel. Let us help you now." Reluctantly, Samuel agreed. As they drove away in the black SUV, the neighborhood buzzed with speculation. Who was this homeless man, and why had a wealthy businessman come to pick him up? A second chance, Daniel took Samuel to his penthouse apartment, where he was greeted by a team of doctors and therapists. Over the next few weeks, Samuel underwent a transformation. He was given proper medical care, nutritious meals, and a safe place to sleep. Slowly, he began to open up about his past and the events that had led him to the streets. Daniel also revealed that Samuel's company had continued to thrive in his absence. The fortune Samuel had left behind had grown exponentially, and Daniel had been managing it all these years, waiting for the day Samuel would return. "It's still yours," Daniel said. "Everything. You can start over, Samuel. You can make a difference again." The ripple effect. Samuel's return to society was met with mixed reactions. Some people were inspired by his story, while others were skeptical. But Samuel didn't care about the fame or the fortune. He wanted to use his second chance to help others, just as he had done on the streets. He founded a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping the homeless, using his own experiences to guide its mission. He also reconnected with Mia, offering her a job at his organization and helping her get back on her feet. A legacy of kindness. Years later, Samuel's story became a symbol of hope and resilience. He had gone from being a man who was ignored by the world to a man who changed countless lives. And though he never forgot the lessons he had learned on the streets, he finally found peace, knowing that he had made a difference.